Assets. This is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today I'm going to talk about yet another forgotten and often overlooked prepper item, and that is just a torch that you hold but lit with a candle. Why? Yeah, that's actually a good question. Many people would just say, just have a flashlight. That's much better. Yes, it's much better. I know. uh, Even if you can just have something to recharge it, like with a dynamo or some extra batteries or a portable solar panels. I know, but if we really think about it, what is what are the benefits of one of these? I should take this one. This is one of those lanterns with that is run that you can put tea lights in it. But why would this one be better? Well, first of all, it does not run on batteries, so that's a good thing for long-term situations. So if you have batteries or even rechargeable batteries in flashlights or whatever that you can recharge, those batteries can only be recharged perhaps hundreds of times before they're getting faulty, get less efficient, or start to break down or have problems. So yeah, that's a problem in the long term. It's I do not say that you do not need something with batteries like a light, but I'm looking more long term in the future. So yeah, that's already a good thing about this because if there is a shit hit the fan situation, yeah, batteries are will be much harder to make than something like candles. Candles can be made out of different types of wax of oil, like people who keep bees. You can get they will still be able to produce wax or oils for making candles. Another thing is during a long-term survival situation, there will be a lot of oil that will get rancid because one, people start to hoard it, but they got more than they will ever use, and it will, in the best cases, after a few years go rancid. So yeah, even if the oil is rancid and you cannot use it for as a nutritional thing anymore, then you can still apply it to use it as a mean for making an oil lamp. So that's what else you can do if you do not have these. You can take one of these holdable lanterns, and you can make your own. Like you saw in my other videos, this is one of those improvised candles. It's just a tin. How do you say this? A glass tin, a wick, and some oil that I gathered from cooking. I do not throw this away. I reuse this to make this kind of improvised candles, and it works like you saw in my previous videos. And you can take something like this and put it perhaps in a smaller jar, but you can put it inside of this, and then that way you have more light, perhaps more light in a long-term situation. And if we, yeah, that's those are several things that are beneficial for it. And another thing is I want to mention is if you're going to buy yeah, that's another benefit. Tea candles are now very cheap to buy. You got good tea light candles, you got bad ones that are not going to last that long, but you can buy this in bulk, and it will cost perhaps less than one of those uh, lights that you can research. So yeah, it's something you can stockpile and even barter after shit hit the fan or in a survival situation. So that's another benefit of this. If you have one light on a battery that you use for everything, yeah, if that breaks, you do not have a light anymore. If you got tea candles, you can still have light for many times, and you can even barter with it. So that's another pro of this kind of lanterns. I just want to mention, if you're gonna buy tea candles, buy the small ones. Why? Uh, like you can perhaps see, this is one of the big ones. But the problems if you with the big ones is if this starts to burn, the sides will not burn that because it's a wider diameter. So the sides will not be efficiently be melting or burning up. So you will always have something unburned while you have this big of space that you take in. So that problem you do not have with just a small tea light. This will burn fully up if you let it burn. So yeah, it's more efficient for the smaller ones. That's just something I want to mention. So yeah, those are the pros of bug-in situations with the storm lanterns. It does not give that much light, but sometimes you do not need that much light. So yeah, it could be handy for if you want to lay low and you want light in your house, but you are afraid that a bigger light could draw negative attention. So that's another benefit of it. Yeah, there are of course the disadvantages, like there is less light, so you cannot look further away. But hey, there were more advantages than disadvantages, which I mentioned so far. Right. To be honest, this could actually even be used in a bug out situation. During my hiking, I tried it once to get one of these. Tried to get this one, and to be honest, it's I was not good fully prepared for it. I shouldn't have taken this. Even though this one is bigger, it should be more efficient than this smaller one, because this is more a decoration lantern than this. For one thing, this has many loose parts, and this is still attached to it with a lid. If you can see, it's sturdy, and yeah, it gives more light than the smaller one. But if you're in a bug out situation, it could be handy. Why? Well, you first of all, like I said before, you will not need much light. Second, if you take in account the size of a flashlight and extra batteries, or even something that how do you say this, can recharge it, like portable solar panels or a dynamo, this would be actually, if you think about it, the same size, perhaps not in weight, but the same size that it will take your bug out bag. Yeah, the disadvantage is if it's made out of glass, it could perhaps break if you handle it too rough. But yeah, like with any equipment, you have to be very carefully. And yeah, what I find very handy about this is, if I got these tea light candles, first of all, there are tea light candles that make 6 to 8 hours of a flame till it's fully used up. So imagine, this is 6 to 8 hours of light that you can use in something like this. If you got a little package of this, let's say 10, so if it's an 8 hour, you got 80 hours of light. So imagine if you need to recharge or got some extra batteries for a flashlight for the same amount of light. And not only this, and that is why I find this perhaps handy in a bug out situation, it can also be used to make a fire. Because if you're in a bug out situation and you need to take up shelter, yeah, of course you set up your shelter and make a fire before the night falls. But yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard. So yeah, you can use this as a way to lighten the surroundings, to make a fire and set up your camp. But the second thing is, if you got this light in it, this little flame, you can use this as a sort of kindle to make your fire. So instead of using one match on a campfire and it will go out by wind, by moist, or by accident, then yeah, you lost a match. But if you use a match, light a tea candle, which is guaranteed to, in 99% of the cases, will will make a flame. Put it in a lantern like this, away from the wind and the moist. Then you always have a little light that you can use to put kindle, like a piece of wood. Hold it with the wind protection from this a little bit up. Put a fire, put a piece of wood in it till it burns, and that way you can and start to make a fire in a bug out situation. So that's also what I find handy. Another, perhaps it's not perhaps that big, but I find it handy. It's like one of those terracotta pot warmers. If you've got a small space, whether in a bug out situation or in a bug in situation, like a small room during a blackout, especially during winter where it can get cold when the electric heat or the gas is not working, then this small lantern with a tea light candle can help uh, radiate heat from the tea light candle and help heat up the room. So that's another advantage of it. If you're in a bug out and you have like a tent, you can to be safe, put this on in your tent. It will create almost less smoke, but you have to be carefully for monoxide poisoning. But this can help to bring some heat inside of your tent during a bug out. So that's also very handy without burning the beneath side of the tent because it get too hot. You of course have to be carefully for fire safety hazards. So yeah, as long as you're careful, this is actually very usable. So yeah, I I used these things a few times, and yeah, I can see some potential in it as a way to improvise in comparison to an electric light, because if an electric light is broken, yeah, not many people will be able to repair it. With this, that is just something so pure, simple that you can use everything to, like I said before, with the improvised candle that you can put in smaller jars, put it in this. You can use vegetable oils like your olive oil that perhaps went rancid. Uh, you can use coconut oil, which I talked about in another video about overlooked prepper items. Especially, look it up. I would say it's very interesting. And yeah, this is one of those, like you perhaps can see, oils that I gather from cooking, and I reuse it for to make these kind of candles. So yeah, and of course, like I said before, I have a stockpile of these. I have a huge stockpile of these tea light candles that you can buy in bulk for very cheap. So yeah, I would say why not? It's a very good alternative, and yeah, it can be used in bug in and bug out situations depending on your personal situation, depending on the nature of the scenario. But yeah, I think I around. So subscribe, share this video to other preppers, and ask what they think about it. Leave a reaction if you got another use or advantage or even a disadvantage about these things. I really like to learn this, and if I forgot, in case if I forgotten something or I did not know something. So yeah, enlighten me if I forgot something about this, uh, like and all those things. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Cheers.